Previously in part 1, we met Mingfei, a lonely gamer betrayed by his best friend and crush. Just when life seemed hopeless, a mysterious girl named Nano appeared and changed everything. From heartbreak to a shot at greatness, Mingfei's journey took a dramatic turn. If you missed it, click the A button above to watch part 1 before diving into what happens next. Mingfei and Nano then spent a long time in a car until the fuel ran out. They stopped to refill the tank, and during this pause, Nano told Mingfei that she couldn't let the professor and the principal down. She had to ensure he got admitted to Castle Academy. Grateful, Mingfei thanked her for never giving up on him and for repeatedly guiding him, and he finally decided to reconsider his decision. In the end, he decided to join Castle College. As soon as Mingfei informed Nano of his decision, Nano immediately updated. Eva greeted him for the first time and provided him with all his current statistics, awarding him the title S rank 2, along with his student ID and all the college details. Then Nano placed a crown on his head and declared him the college king. Even though he hadn't done anything remarkable yet, this left Mingfei completely dumbfounded. Nano explained that several people had worn crowns before him, including his parents, but still, people would go to great lengths for that crown. After that, Nano bent before him and said that she would become his personal subordinate and impart to him all the knowledge she had accumulated over years of studying in college. Mingfei happily accepted her as a friend. This news soon spread to all the students in the college. A few days later, Mingfei found himself at the airport, asking an officer about the CC line that would take him to the college. But the officer said that there was no such line, dismissing him as a beggar. Looking at the meager $20 he had left, Mingfei thought that he wasn't a beggar, but as he looked around, he saw many others who appeared just as poor and disheveled as he was. The officer advised him to go to the Chinese embassy for shelter and food arrangements. Hearing this, Mingfei felt like he was a scam NPC. Hungry, he went to McDonald's to buy a burger, but was refused service because beggars weren't served there. At that moment, he met a silver-haired boy named Finger, the kind of guy who would make girls swoon at a convention. But in reality, he too was completely broke. Finger asked Mingfei for some money to buy soda, then noticed the Castle College card in Mingfei's hand and asked if he was a student there. Finger then showed his own card and claimed to be his senior. In a twist of fate, Finger ended up taking all of Mingfei's money just for fun. Finger explained that the college was hidden in a valley and that the easiest way to get there was by the CC line unless you had a private jet or special permission from the headmaster. They ended up waiting until midnight and eventually both fell asleep. In his sleep, Mingfei had a strange dream. In the dream, he found himself in a battle, with people running in queues and the sound of chaos filling the air. Suddenly, he awoke to see a large moon shining outside the station's window and noticed a small boy sitting on the ground, staring at him. The boy looked at Mingfei as if he knew him and called him brother. But then Mingfei woke up again. This was a dream within a dream. He was shaken awake by the bizarre layers of his own dream, only to see Finger also wake up, exclaiming that the CC line had arrived. At that moment, they saw a man approaching with a bell in his hand. The man announced that the CC 1000 express train had arrived and that all students should prepare their belongings and tickets to board the train. Finger walked up to him, and the man, looking at Finger's disappointed face, said that he recognized him from his previous failures. Finger made a move and said that he had been demoted once again, setting a record for continuous demotions. That had even lowered his grade to an F. Mingfei then approached the conductor and stated that he was a new student by the name of Mingfei. Upon hearing his name, the conductor panicked and asked if he really was a new edge grade student. Mingfei started to feel overwhelmed and alone. As soon as he checked in, the entire airport lit up and an underground passage opened. Then the CC 1000 express train arrived. And just like Professor Good Mario, Professor Guardian popped out of it. All the students boarded the train, put on their uniforms, and Professor Mingfei was asked to sign a non-disclosure agreement, a mandatory procedure for all students, since the academy offered such special studies that could not be found anywhere else in the world. Professor Mingfei explained that here, they studied dragons and asked him what he knew about them. Mingfei replied that dragons were merely legendary creatures, part of myths and stories. But the professor insisted that dragons were real and that a long-standing war had been raging between humans and dragons. Fact that ordinary people were unaware of. The purpose of Castle College was to learn how to slay dragons and train heroes who could protect humanity. After hearing this, Mingfei joked that perhaps the professor needed a psychiatrist rather than a dragon slayer. But just then, Mingfei suddenly fainted and started dreaming again. In his dream, the same little boy appeared once more and told him that dragons were real. The boy then showed him a vision of a real dragon sitting on a snowy mountaintop, pushed there by the force of ice. The boy explained that many years ago, a human had slain the dragon king on his throne, becoming the first human emperor. When the dragon died, everyone celebrated, and it was this human hero who had propelled civilization to such great heights. As the boy finished speaking, Mingfei awoke to see that the boy's words were trailing off. As Mingfei stepped into the gates of Castle College, a sense of wonder and nervousness washed over him. The campus was nothing like he had ever seen before. Tall Gothic buildings, futuristic drones hovering silently above, and students with talents beyond imagination. Nano walked beside him, acting as his silent guardian. The orientation began, and Mingfei was introduced to his batchmates, each possessing unique abilities and hidden pasts. He met Lu Yin, a fiery girl who controlled flames, and Caesar, a cocky but skilled fighter who eyed Mingfei with suspicion. Despite the cold reception, Mingfei stayed determined. Soon, classes commenced. Mingfei found himself struggling at first, but with Nano's help and his own gaming instincts, he slowly started adapting to the mysterious curriculum of Castle College, one that blended science, sorcery, and strategy. One day, a sudden alert spread across campus. A breach in the defense system. Dark creatures known as hybrids had infiltrated the outer wall. Students were mobilized for a real combat test. Mingfei, though scared, chose to participate. With guidance from Nano and unexpected teamwork with Lu Yin and Caesar, he faced his fears. The battle was intense. Mingfei unlocked a hidden power during the fighter, dragonic ore that shocked even the professors. After the skirmish, whispers about him spread across the academy. Some called him a threat, while others saw him as a rising hero. Meanwhile, a dark secret unraveled. The professor who had recommended Mingfei was being watched. Castle College was not just a school, it was a battlefield for ancient dragon bloodlines. Mingfei had unknowingly inherited one of them. As he stood on the rooftop one night, gazing at the stars, Nano approached him. "Your destiny is far greater than you think, Mingfei," she said. He clenched his fists, not out of fear, but resolve. This was just the beginning. As the days passed, Mingfei's transformation became more evident. During lectures, he began connecting the dots between his gaming strategies and the magical tactics taught at the college. Though still clumsy at times, his innate ability to learn quickly impressed his instructors. Meanwhile, Nano remained a steadfast guide, ensuring he wasn't overwhelmed by the demands of his new life. At midday, while the campus buzzed with excited chatter about the latest battle and mysterious revelations, Mingfei received a private message via Ever, the school's AI. The message detailed his upcoming trialer, tests that would push his limits and determine whether he could truly embrace his inherited dragonic power.